Good afternoon and welcome to this week's edition of Reserve Review. My name is Kaylin and I am your host, and we are joined here today by Ericka Kelley. She is the CEO, owner, founder of Ericka Kelley Enterprises. And before that, she was in the Air Force, and she has quite a story of how she even entered into the Air Force and how she became an ROA member. And so we're here to talk to her about her background, her story, and really some of the really exciting things that she has coming up this year as well. So welcome, Ericka. Welcome, and thank you for your time today being on the show. We'd love to have you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I just want to start by saying thank you for giving me the opportunity to be in this amazing platform. Like you said, my story is one of millions, really. It's just that it's mine. My story belongs to me, and I say it this way because I am beginning to own it. I'm beginning to own it. For many years, I was ashamed of my story. And I say that because now, as you introduce me, I'm an owner, I'm a CEO, I was in the military. All those things are so amazing. But I was hiding the journey of how I got to the United States, the journey of, or struggles, I should say, of how I entered the Air Force. And then even though I served for 32 plus years in the Air Force, in and out of reserve time, so a lot of reserve, amazing time, it was good, bad, and ugly, just like everything else in life. So here I am. I'm happy to be here.
I'd love to hear your story about how you even entered in the military, because you were not born here and you had kind of a crazy story. I know we touched on it a little bit with you during our centennial video, which if you haven't seen it yet, it's on the ROA.org homepage. And we would love to have you talk about that, because who would have thought, like you said, you can come in from another country and you kind of have no support system, and then one day you just decide to join the Air Force. How did that happen?
Yes, and a lot. I speak a lot about getting out of our own way. People say, how did you navigate the military? How did you navigate law enforcement? I had to get out of my own way, because if I would have allowed me, that little voice that all of us have inside, you're too short, you're too small, your accent's gonna get in the way. What are you thinking? Don't put yourself in that situation where you're going to be embarrassed. So I had to listen to that voice and go, I appreciate you, but I'm moving on and pressing forward. So how did I get into the military? Well, this is what happened, my dear friend and audience. And that is that I had this baggage, this huge baggage of being a product of, not a product of poverty. I lived in poverty, but I was a product of abandonment. I was a product of being dead weight to other people. I was the product of feeling like because of me, people were suffering. Like my grandmother, because she had to take care of me, she couldn't take care of herself. Just an example of the baggage that I carried. And then in the United States, I was, oh my goodness, so primitive. My two brothers and I shared the story of us playing with the light switch back and forth because we thought electricity was magic. We never experienced it. So sometimes we talk about being an immigrant in this country, but there's different levels of being a stranger, a new person in a new environment. So for us three, we had to learn language, culture, mannerism, and just the simplicity of having a shelter that was not a shack was transition.
Wow.
And I share all that because how did I get into the military is that baggage, all those things from day one of my birth until I would say the age of 26, the age of 16,
Mhm.
when I saw myself homeless in the streets of Las Vegas, all those things had to do with me meeting and accepting a very toxic relationship. Very toxic relationship in which I met someone much, much older than I was,
Mhm.
not having the boundaries, not having the role models of what good looked like, and accepting that relationship as a good relationship because I didn't know what good was or what bad was. I just knew normal for me. So when I saw myself getting beat up every day, when I saw myself with a man that controlled everything about me, and when I say control, and I know that I talk about this depending on what forum I have, I talk about the levels of control because if I can use the word predator, my abuser, even though he was my husband, um, every morning I would get up, get a glass of water. That was my routine, get a glass of water, go back to where he was and say, good morning, sir. Do you think I can eat today? Can I eat today? And he would say yes or no.
Wow.
And when we're talking about control and conditioning and programming someone's mind, he didn't have to be in the house. He would just tell me, you can eat or not eat, and I would follow his instructions.
Wow.
And so see the shame that that carries, and see how when I first entered the military, and people would say, "Why did you enter the military?" I would not share that story. Too heavy, too much. I would say I did it for schooling. I did it for an opportunity. I did it because I love the uniform. And guess what? All of those things are right. But if I am to share the core of why, I did it to survive. I did it to survive. And so when I'm in the Air Force, it's my first night. I'm at the airport, the San Antonio airport. We're getting picked up. We're in the bus, all excited. I'm excited. Some people are really, really nervous. I'm excited to be in that bus because that bus ride signified to me that I was worth something.
Mhm.
All my life, I had been told that I was zero. I told myself that. And here is the Air Force telling me, little me, well, I was 22 by then, but it's telling me that they want me. It's telling me that they see potential in me, things that I have never experienced or heard before. So I'm in that bus and I'm excited. I get out of the bus and okay, the military training instructors are a little loud and kind of shocking us. I don't care. I don't care. As a matter of fact, when we get into our dorm and I'm standing in front of this metal door, and anyone that has served, I don't think it doesn't matter what branch of the military. I think we have a picture of what that metal bed,
Yeah.
right? That metal bed looks like,
Yep.
and what that room might look like or sound like. And I think I'm crying. Like those silent tears that just roll down. I think I am, but not because I'm there. I'm not crying because I'm there. I'm not crying because, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into? I'm
Mm.
not. I'm crying because that's going to be the first night in a very long time, maybe my whole life, that I'm having a safe environment to sleep in.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So that's how I entered the military. I entered the military with gratefulness. I entered the military by knowing that I made that promise. I made a promise that night that I would do everything it took from me to make the Air Force proud of me and for the Air Force to never, ever be embarrassed of selecting me as one of their own members.
Wow. Imagine if everyone thought that way. Like, and from, you know, you're young, you come to this country, you have just everything against you, and you still manage to rise above that and make a decision for yourself, which is, it's putting yourself first and really believing in yourself too, and believing what people are telling you about yourself. And that's huge. I mean, just that alone is a big deal. And so as you came up the ranks, did you find that you continued to overcome these mental blocks, or how did you, you know, once you got to your first assignment and you're coming up through the ranks?
Yeah, my first assignment was at Luke Air Force Base. Because of the situation at home with the spouse that I just shared about, I entered into the reserve component of the Air Force. And I stayed in the reserve component of the Air Force throughout my career. It's just that some of my assignments were active duty assignments during that 32 and a half year span. When I say that number, it sounds like a big number, but oh my gosh, but I'm telling you right now, the time flew. And as I make rank, this is what happened. What happened is that the Air Force, or I should say my first assignment, the folks that I work with when I finally earned, right? You earn your uniform, right? I earned my uniform. So here I am, and I'm coming into this environment of people that feed me goodness. And I share this with anyone that wants to hear this. My first assignment gave me what I needed to grow, gave me what I needed to be courageous for the rest of my career. Showcase good leadership, showcase love towards another person, and at the same time, the margins that I needed to be a very strong airman. And why do I say this? Because those beautiful, beautiful people celebrated me being part of their team, even though I was broken in 100 pieces. Because just wearing the uniform was not enough to walk away from that environment that I was in, right? I went to basic training, I went to technical school, and all of that was yes, 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 right? I could see, not fully, but I could see, oh my gosh, I'm smart, I'm fit, I'm not ugly. People listen to my words. And I know that it sounds like simple, weird words that I'm saying now, but they're a big deal. When someone sees you and they say, I see you. When someone remembers your name, how powerful is that to you inside? Because I had many leaders that would say, hi, Ericka. And me, you know, just a passing hello. But me, after that passing hello, going, oh my God, they remember my name. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That first assignment taught me that
Mm-hmm.
because of me having proximity to amazing people and then allowing me to model that behavior. Did I have a perfect career? Did I make all the perfect decisions? No. I don't think any of us on this earth, but I did the best that I could with the resources that I had. And I live by the, who can I help today? Who can I help today because of the rank I have? Who can I help today because of the position I hold? Who can I help because of the history that I carry?
Yeah, 100%. So from that time to now, so much has transpired. So being in the reserve side, you had to have a dual career path.
Mhm.
What was most of your career on the civilian side? Or was that kind of, did it change a lot? Did you have the same career path the whole time?
Well, interesting. Oh my gosh, interesting question. I my career was law enforcement.
Mhm.
And from the beginning, and sometimes, I think now that I'm a coach and I do a lot of training, I think, why military? And why in the civilian side, why law enforcement? Right. So I'm psychoanalyzing myself. And I thought, I think it has to do with me always looking for safety, always looking for always for security, always looking to be protected.
Mhm.
So I'm just thinking, maybe some of you can tell me not, but this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that I went into the military, yes, for survival purposes. And did the Air Force save my life? Yes, it did. But it gave me a family.
Mhm.
It gave me a family, and it gave me a structure of boundaries and rules and regulations that I felt comfortable in order for those pieces that I shared with you to start at least gluing itself, at least gluing Ericka back together a little bit. And law enforcement gave me that security that no one would hurt me again.
Mm.